The hospital room was quiet, except for the rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor. The smell of disinfectant clung to the air, and the pale white walls made the space feel more like a prison than a place of healing. I had just come out of surgery. My body felt heavy, stitched and sore, but my mind was restless. Through the haze of pain, one thought pressed against my chest: I needed to see my son. I had pictured it so many times in my head. The door opening, his familiar face rushing toward me, his warm voice saying, "Mom, I'm here." That moment alone would have eased all my pain. So I waited. Every time footsteps echoed in the hallway, my heart jumped. I turned my head, expecting him to walk in with flowers or even just with his worried smile. But each time, it was only a nurse checking vitals, a doctor with a clipboard, or a cleaner pushing a cart. They came and left, but the person I longed for never appeared. By evening, the weight of disappointment was crushing. I told myself he must be caught up at work. Maybe traffic was bad. Maybe he didn't realize visiting hours were strict. I tried to make excuses for him because the truth that he chose not to come was unbearable. The night was the hardest. Machines hummed softly, and shadows stretched across the room. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling tiles, replaying every memory of raising him, his first steps, his first words, the nights I stayed up when he was sick. And now, when I needed him, he wasn't there. My tears soaked the pillow silently, because even crying felt too loud in that cold room. The next morning, I asked the nurse if anyone had called. She looked at me gently, her eyes soft with pity, and shook her head. The gesture cut deeper than words. Days passed in that same pattern, hope rising with every sound and crashing when it wasn't him. I watched other patients welcome there. Children, their families filling the rooms with flowers, laughter, and comfort. Their joy became daggers to my heart. All I could do was smile politely and hide the emptiness burning inside me. Finally, after what felt like a lifetime, I was discharged. My body was weak, but my spirit was weaker. Returning home should have brought comfort, but instead, the house felt foreign. The silence was loud. Every corner reminded me of the boy I had raised. His childhood photos lined the hallway. His trophies still gathered dust on the shelf. He had been my entire world, but in my hour of need, he had vanished. I tried to move on with my recovery, moving slowly from room to room, each step a reminder of how fragile I had become. But nothing hurt as much as knowing that the bond I thought was unbreakable had cracked. Then one afternoon, as rain pattered against the window, a letter arrived. I almost ignored it, but then I saw his handwriting on the envelope, slightly shaky but still the same. My breath caught in my throat. With trembling hands, I tore it open. Inside, words spilled across the page. "Mom, I'm sorry. I know I should have been there. I thought about coming so many times, but I couldn't bring myself to face you. I've been drowning in my own failures, ashamed to let you see what I've become. I was scared you would see me not as your strong son, but as a man who has lost his way. Staying away felt easier, but now I realize it was the cruelest mistake. I hurt you when all you ever did was love me. You can forgive me. I want to see you. Please let me come home." The letter shook in my hands as tears blurred the words. For days I had convinced myself he didn't care. But now the truth lay bare. His absence wasn't born from neglect, but from fear. From shame. I pressed the letter against my chest, sobbing quietly. The loneliness I had carried suddenly cracked open to reveal something else: hope. The hurt hadn't vanished. The scars of those empty nights in the hospital would remain. But the letter was proof that deep down my son's heart still beat with love for me. And in that moment, I knew the road back to each other would be long, but it wasn't lost. Because no matter how broken, the bond between mother and child has a way of finding its way back.